So I kind of want to get into, not just your experience with it, but what you think about this topic in general, of kind of your first awareness per se.
Honestly, I didn't know where to go with this topic.
So where did you go?
At first, I just looked up, our topic, see what came up. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, maybe I should go ahead and look up definitions first.
Mm-hmm. Good place
and
to
then
start.
I saw the definitions and they're very similar. So I was like, okay, I need to try and find a difference between them because they are not the same thing, even though they are similar.
So what are these definitions?
For consciousness, I found a sense of one's personal or collective identity, including the attitudes, beliefs, and I can't read my own handwriting.
Maybe you should type it.
Yeah, I should. But it's held by or considered characteristics of an individual or group.
Gotcha.
Or consciousness. Awareness is the quality or state of being aware. So pretty much the knowledge and understanding that something is happening or exists.
Gotcha. I like awareness. I feel like consciousness, I feel like that's a debated definition for sure.
For consciousness, I also, while looking up the definitions, everything I saw was considered related more to a more spiritual definitions rather than something
like panpsychism or something.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I didn't know where to go with that.
You're like, not that road. Yeah, yep. We could hit that later.
So I thought that was interesting that it has spiritual definitions.
Oh. It's a widely used word.
Yeah.
So what was kind of your train of thought going from there?
Well, after that, I'm just thinking I need to understand these two separate things more. So I just delved into more of the difference between awareness and consciousness. And I didn't really find too much, honestly, which is just crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But I got for awareness, the definition says it's more of, how should I say this?
Just throw it out.
Just knowing, just knowing that something is
being aware.
Yeah, no,
I hate when they use the word in the definition.
Being aware, yeah. But so it can be taken on like a physical or emotional aspect too. So like physically, you can go ahead and grab this can and then you can study it. Just like, wow, it's smooth. It has this thing at the bottom. What is this? Like a dip?
A lip? Or
it's concave at the bottom. It has this...
A tab.
And then you're just kind of like understanding it, what purpose it has. It contains liquids, a drink for, yourself to drink. So there's that type of being awareness, physical, or there's emotional. So it's just, that's a little tricky to say. I want to say it's more being in tune with like emotions,
like how you're feeling.
Yeah, and feelings, and just recognizing what I found online. They said sensory patterns. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Those two things did help me differentiate both of those just a little bit more, but I'm still having a hard time. Just
it's definitely a strange. The rabbit holes go deep on this sort of topic because you could go the consciousness route. Even awareness itself has just like an endless amount of things, and self-improvement, how to be more self-aware, stuff like that. So where did you kind of arrive at this? Like what was kind of the meat of your thought there?
Well, at the end of it, I just kind of kept the original definitions as I said earlier, and just kind of added to that.
Mm-hmm.
Or not really added, just more giving myself examples. So, awareness, knowledge of understanding that something is happening or exists. I just think about, like I said, just physical objects, how people perceive things emotionally, how people just really perceive things, and how some people are capable of being fully aware, while actually maybe that doesn't go under awareness. But for consciousness, it's understanding that some people can be fully conscious and, I guess, aware.
So can you be conscious and unaware?
Conscious and unaware. I don't think that's really possible, because when you're conscious about it, you're already like giving it something already. You're already identifying it. But subconsciously is a different thing. You can definitely be subconscious about it and unaware, and it's more of like a feeling type of thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's where that spiritual part came into play, because it's more of a gut feeling.
So you can't readily identify it and say define it or write it into words, mm-hmm. but you know there's something there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's all really.
Can you be aware but not conscious?
Aware but not conscious.
Awareness but no consciousness.
Is this like some out of body experience that
I don't know, like
into?
Well, or? I feel like you're drifting toward the definition, like you got knocked out, like you're unconscious.
I mean, you can be unconscious.
I mean, could you, let's say you're a robot, like could you be aware of your surroundings, say you got the technology but not be conscious? Like what's the definition of consciousness on there?
Sense of one's personal or collective identity.
So say a robot doesn't have an identity, but it knows where it is. Can it have awareness but no consciousness? Would that fall under that category?
I guess so.
Or would it have consciousness?
Okay, so depending on the robot,
depending
you can build a robot that you can just control. You can just control it. But if it's something that has awareness, so like the knowledge and understanding of things, mm-hmm. I personally feel like it should have like a mind of its own. So like AI. That's the only time I can really grasp, the whole robot thing. So I still don't feel like you can be unconscious and aware, because they are very similar and they almost go hand in hand. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was seeing, I mean, that makes some sense. But I guess it would certainly go to what sort of is your definition of consciousness. And that's really where it would whirl around, because it almost seems like they're used interchangeably. Like mm-hmm. if you're aware, then you're conscious. If you're conscious, then you're aware. But how do you differentiate the two going deeper? And I think that goes more into philosophy and spirituality, mm-hmm. Which I didn't go that route, because that can go pretty deep pretty quick. But my mind, when it drifts to, say, like robots and such, it goes to like panpsychism and how like things are conscious. Like everything's conscious, but you can have something that acts like something conscious, mm-hmm. but isn't, because it doesn't have that kind of driver. But I don't know it that well, so I can't really describe it. But
gotcha.
That's just something I've heard.